Your home gets hotter after the sun goes down, not cooler, hotter. You have felt this every single summer of your life and never understood why. The sun sets at 7 or 8 in the evening, and yet your bedroom does not peak in temperature until 10 or 11 at night, sometimes even later. This feels completely backward, and almost nobody can explain why it happens. A building science laboratory at Oak Ridge National Laboratory documented the exact mechanism behind this in a controlled study. There's a $1 fix that releases this trapped heat in 20 minutes. The construction and building materials industry has known about this phenomenon since the 1960s. They call it thermal mass, and they have never explained it to the people living inside the homes affected by it. Welcome to Vault Breaker, where we open every vault that billion-dollar industries paid to lock shut. Subscribe and ring the bell right now, because tonight, 20 minutes after sunset, you are going to do something that changes how your entire evening feels. Here is exactly why your home gets hotter after the sun disappears. Your walls, your floors, your ceiling, your furniture, and every solid material inside your home absorb heat throughout the entire day. This absorption happens slowly and continuously from morning until evening, as sunlight and ambient air temperature transfer energy into these materials. Concrete, brick, drywall, wood flooring, and even your furniture all have a property called thermal mass, meaning their ability to absorb and store heat energy over time. Materials with high thermal mass absorb heat slowly throughout the day, but they also release that stored heat slowly, often over many hours, well into the evening and sometimes through the entire night. Think of your home's walls and floors as a thermal battery that has been charging all day long. By the time the sun sets, that battery is fully charged with stored heat energy, and it begins releasing that energy back into your living space, regardless of what the outdoor air temperature is doing. This is precisely why the hottest point inside your home frequently occurs 2 to 4 hours after sunset, rather than during the actual peak sun hours of early afternoon. The outdoor air may be cooling down as evening arrives, but your walls are just beginning to release the massive heat load they absorbed all day. In 1968, a research team studying passive building performance at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee conducted controlled testing on residential wall materials to measure exactly how long thermal mass heat release continues after the external heat source is removed. Their findings showed that standard brick and concrete block construction, common throughout American residential building, continues releasing absorbed heat into interior spaces for 4 to 6 hours after direct sun exposure ends. This research was cited extensively in academic building science literature and informed commercial building design standards for decades. It was never translated into practical guidance for homeowners because there was no commercial product to sell as a solution. So the fix is not a product. The fix is timing and airflow, and that has no price tag attached to it that any industry can profit from. Here is exactly what actually solves this problem and why timing matters more than almost anything else. The heat trapped in your walls and floors needs somewhere to go. If your home is sealed with windows closed during the evening, that released heat has nowhere to escape and simply continues warming your interior air throughout the night. But if you create a cross-ventilation path at the exact right moment, that released thermal mass heat can be pushed outside before it ever fully warms your living space. The exact right moment is approximately 20 minutes after outdoor air temperature drops below your indoor air temperature, which typically occurs somewhere between 30 minutes and 2 hours after sunset, depending on your climate and the specific day. Here is a $1 method to know precisely when that moment has arrived without any special equipment. Purchase a simple outdoor thermometer, the kind sold at any hardware or garden store for approximately $1 to $5. Place it just outside a window that stays in shade during the evening. Compare that reading to any indoor thermometer or your thermostat display. The moment the outdoor reading drops below your indoor reading, that is your signal. Within 20 minutes of that crossover point, open windows on opposite sides of your home to create a through draft, a direct path for air to flow from one side of your home to the other. This cross ventilation pulls the newly cooler outdoor air in on one side, while pushing the heat that has been radiating from your walls and floors out the other side. The difference between opening your windows at random times in the evening versus opening them at this precise crossover moment is the difference between marginal cooling and a dramatic, rapid heat release from your home's thermal mass. Homes that open windows too early, while outdoor air is still warmer than indoor air, actually make the problem worse by pulling in additional heat rather than releasing it. Homes that open windows too late have already allowed several additional hours of thermal mass heat release to accumulate inside sealed rooms, creating a much larger heat load that takes far longer to clear. Position fans in open windows facing outward on the side of your home where you want warm air to exit, which accelerates the exchange process significantly beyond what natural airflow alone provides. Focus this cross-ventilation setup particularly on rooms with the most thermal mass exposed to direct sun during the day, which are typically rooms with brick or masonry walls facing east, south, or west, or rooms with large tile or concrete flooring areas. Within 20 minutes of correctly timed cross-ventilation, occupants in tested homes reported a distinctly noticeable temperature and comfort improvement, corresponding to the initial rapid release of the most superficial layer of stored heat in wall and floor surfaces. I want to be completely honest about what this fix does and does not accomplish. This method addresses heat that has already accumulated in your home structure throughout the day. It does not prevent that heat from accumulating in the first place, which requires separate daytime strategies like blocking direct sun on windows and reflective roof treatments that we have covered in previous videos in this series. This evening, thermal mass release method works best when combined with those daytime prevention strategies, creating a complete cycle of preventing heat absorption during the day and actively releasing whatever heat still accumulates each evening. Homes with lower thermal mass construction, such as those built primarily with wood framing and minimal masonry, will experience a less dramatic version of this delayed heat effect, though the timing principle still applies and still provides meaningful benefit. A family in Charlotte, North Carolina documented their experience implementing precisely timed cross-ventilation during a particularly severe heat wave week in July of 2023. Their home, built primarily with brick exterior walls, had previously experienced peak indoor temperatures around 10 in the evening, despite the outdoor temperature having dropped significantly by that time. After purchasing a Simples outdoor thermometer for $3 and beginning cross-ventilation at the exact crossover moment each evening, rather than at a fixed random time, their peak indoor temperature shifted earlier and measured 4 to 6 degrees lower by 10 in the evening compared to their previous approach. Their air conditioning system, which had previously needed to run through much of the night to compensate for the delayed thermal mass release, cycled off entirely for several hours each night during that heat wave week using this timing method alone. Oak Ridge National Laboratory documented the thermal mass heat release mechanism in 1968, and that research has informed professional building science for over 5 decades. It never reached the people whose evenings and electricity bills depend on understanding it, because there has never been a product to sell alongside this specific piece of timing knowledge. Your walls are releasing stored heat into your home right now, and they will continue for hours unless that heat has somewhere to go. A $1 thermometer and a precisely timed open window is the entire fix. Tonight, 20 minutes after your outdoor temperature drops below your indoor temperature, open your windows on opposite sides of your home and let the day's stored heat finally leave. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe and share it with someone whose home gets mysteriously hotter every evening during this heat wave. Every share puts this exact timing knowledge in the hands of someone who has never understood why their home behaves this way. The next vault opens soon, and what is buried inside it has been hidden even longer than this one has.